Shops and Establishment Act. Shop and Establishment Act. The Shop and Establishment Act is regulated by the Department of Labor to control the payment of wages, hours of work, leave, holidays, terms of service, and other work conditions of people employed in the shop and commercial establishment, as well as premises wherein any trade, business, or profession is carried out. This law is applicable to commercial establishments such as banking, insurance, stock or share brokerage, as well as societies, charitable trusts, printing establishment, educational institutions that run for gain. So where and all this Shop and Establishment Act is applicable. So this Shop and Establishment Act is applicable to commercial shop, commercial establishment, the establishment where admin activities are taken, charitable trust, printing establishment, restaurant, banking, insurance. So these are all the commercial activities where the establishment who is carrying out the commercial activities, for that establishment, this Shop and Establishment Act is applicable. What this Shop and Establishment Act is speaking about. So this Shop and Establishment Act is speaking about the payment of wages, hours of work, leaves, holidays, terms of service, and other working condition of people employed in the establishment. So it defines what is the wages has to be paid, what is the hours of work the employee has to work with the organization, what is the leave and what is the holidays they can enjoy, what is the terms of service, and other working conditions. So these are all the terms, or these and all the terms in the Shop and Establishment Act will define, and the employer has to follow that procedures. Okay, so this act covers the issues such as working hours, rest interval for employees, opening and closing hours, closed days, national and religious holidays, overtime work, rules for employment of children, annual leave, maternity leave, sickness, and casual leave. So these are all the issues that Shop and Establishment Act will cover. So it will speak about hours of work. How many hours the employee has to work in an organization. Rest interval for employees. How many hours the employee has to enjoy rest and breaks. So what should be the opening and closing hours? Say for example, if you are starting a business, means if you are starting a insurance business, or if you're starting a printing business, means so in that printing business you will be having some office. You have to declare with the labor department that what is your opening and closing hours, at what time you are opening your office and at what time you are closing your office. At 9 o'clock, you will be opening your office, and at 6 o'clock, you will be closing your office. So like that, you have to get a license from the labor department under the Shop and Establishment Act. And closed days. Closed days means what is your weekend days. Like whether it is Saturday, Sunday holiday, or whether it is only Sunday holiday. So that that is also you have to disclose with the labor department. Next is national and religious holiday, work, overtime work, rules for employment of children, annual leave, maternity leave, sick leave, sickness leave, casual leave. So these are all the issues that labor department will guide the employer. That is, the employer, they have to give the national and religious holidays. That is, what are the national and religious holidays that the employer is going to give to the employee, like New Year, Christmas, Diwali. So these are all the national religious holiday. National holiday means Independence Day, Republic Day, Gandhi Jayanti. These are the national holidays. So that national and religious holidays, they have to declare with the Labor Department. So, what are all the national holidays that the employer is going to give to the employee to enjoy? Next is overtime. Overtime work, overtime work, the Labor Department under the Shop and Establishment Act, they will guide the employer. So these are all the overtime hours the employee has to work. They will give the guidelines. So say for example, 75 hours in a month, the employee can work as a overtime. So no employee should work above or over, no employee should work over or above 75 hours of overtime. So these are all the rules. These are all the rules under the Shop and Establishment Act. The Labor Department will guide the employer. So if the employer employs the labor to work 75 hours, to work more than 75 hours as overtime means, then the employer will be penalized. Next, rules for it also, this Shop and Establishment Act, it also defines the rules for employing the children. So no children will be employed as a labor in any organization. So no children means a person below 18 years of age will not be involved in any kind of activities in the establishment. Next is annual leave. So the Shop and Establishment Act defines what is the annual leave the employer has to provide. What is the maternity leave the employer has to provide to the employee? What is the sickness and casual leave the employer has to provide to the employee? So these are all the issues that the Shop and Establishment Act defines the employer to give the employees.